What's up, guys? Raziel here, and I'm going to do a video today that I haven't done one like this for a while. I generally don't cover news articles in any of my videos. There's been one or two in the entire almost 2 years now that I've been on YouTube. And this one struck a chord with me because it's one that I've talked about many times in many of my past videos, my Raz rants, my series about World of Warcraft and other MMOs. And so I wanted to go through this one with all of you because it really resonated with me, and maybe it will for you as well. And the title of this article is, for MMO diehards, there's only one conversation. Is the genre dying, or is it already dead? Let's find out what I think, and I want to know what you think. Let's just go.
I am Raziel.
So guys, you can see the article here. It was written a day ago. I was going to do a video about it, this video, yesterday, but I got caught up in the other video I made, and then I started playing Final Fantasy, so yeah. Anyway, to preface this video, I don't want you guys to think I'm looking for problems. I don't want you guys to think that I hate Final Fantasy now and I'm quitting or anything ridiculous like that. But this really struck a chord with me. Now, this video is going to very much be, again, a open your ears and less of look at the screen type of video. So if you have stuff to do around the house, if you have things to get done, please feel free to do that. If it's hooked up in your car, whatever the case may be, you don't have to be actually watching to get the point of this video across. So I'm going to read the article and you guys can follow along or just listen. And if you agree, and I'll give you, then please let me know in the comment section below. If you disagree, let me know in the comment section down below. And if you don't give a fuck, let me know in the comment section down below. I will give you my opinions as they come up in my head. This is completely unscripted, other than the fact that I'm reading this script, which is the article itself. So let's just get right into it, okay? The article was written by Luke Winky. And he says, he prefaces it with, as the genre becomes set in its ways, a few holdouts on Reddit's MMORPG honor the past and predict a bleak future. Okay, let's go. Good old EverQuest photo here. There was a time not long ago when the residents of the MMORPG subreddit spoke of things in a present tense. You too probably remember those days. The MMO boom period, where it felt like the frontier of gaming was in massive online worlds packed with millions of people. But now the sun has set on this nation. Is this a dead genre? Wonders a user named Eldrick, whose post is currently near the top of subreddit. And I will link this article, by the way, people, in the comments below. So if you want to actually go to the Reddit and see these people's opinions, you're more than welcome to do so. Where can I find a contiguous, massively multiplayer experience? Not a solo experience, not instanced, a living, breathing economy, a world to exist in. I've been chasing this since the first experience MMOs with RuneScape and World of Warcraft in 2004, they continue. Remember my thing, Chasing the Dragon, that video I did a couple days ago? Yeah. Does it exist? Am I just missing the shining diamond in the pile of dirt that is this whole genre? Everywhere I look, it seems people are burnt out on the modern MMO experience. Yet where is the alternative? Where is my simulated massively multiplayer world, emergent gameplay? Why don't MMOs exist anymore? Very good question, and one I've echoed myself. In retrospect, the MMO apogee is about as intense as it was misguided. Just look at some of the names of these tombstones. Richard Garriott's Tabula Rasa, Warhammer Online, The Matrix Online, EverQuest Next. What about the MMOs that remain online? Toiling for a splinter of the boom. Star Wars, The Old Republic, and Final Fantasy XIV recovered from famously ignominious launches. Elder Scrolls Online is still telling new stories. Plenty of others fight for tiny scraps of the MMO population. I would say Final Fantasy XIV has the majority now. WoW will overtake it again with Classic temporarily, and then it'll die off again. But many more have died. As the body count piled up, it became clear that there could really only be one World of Warcraft. I agree. And if you've seen my other videos, I think World of Warcraft is the cause of this problem, but though not directly. I don't think it was a deliberate, ill-intended, misguided thing that Blizzard did on purpose. I'll get into that later, my opinion about that later. That's what makes the Badlands of MMORPG Reddit such as a curious read. The banquet has dried up. New MMOs, or even exciting new things happening in old MMOs, are rare in 2019. Today, the posters with a deep affinity for the genre are focused on certain anguished nostalgia. Anguished nostalgia, who's capitalizing on that in a couple weeks? Blizzard. A 33-year-old named Alex from the UK, who served as a moderator of the subreddit since 2016, tells me that while the forum's culture has always trended towards wistfulness, it hit an apex following the shuttering of NCSoft's WildStar last year, and the unveiling of legacy servers such as World of Warcraft Classic. You have a photo of World of Warcraft Classic here. With a lot of bad news and little to be hoped for on the horizon, posters have defaulted to topics everyone can agree on. The good old days, and the various ways that contemporary products are broken now. Why is it that modern MMOs just aren't the same, man? Here's the general theory on MMORPG's Reddit. Early MMOs embrace some of the more traditional trappings of role-playing games that have slowly atrophied away as the genre has gone into decline. I agree, and I've said that multiple times in multiple videos. In EverQuest, for instance, solo content was almost entirely untenable. If you were playing a spellcaster, you needed to have a tank in your party to grind XP out of the simplest of mobs. Ultima Online was equipped with full loot PvP, which meant that other players could rob you naked on the roads of Sosaria. I didn't really play Ultima Online that much, so I don't remember what it's called. But the same is true for Assurance Call, by the way. If you played on the PvP server, people kill you, take your shit. Even World of Warcraft, which at launch was derided by Grandguards for not being hardcore enough, sprinkled in a ton of new flavored rich flourishes, like how warlocks could summon a Doomguard at the cost of one player's life. I remember that, and I did that. As Alex explains, these are the things MMORPG eulogizes. Everything feels too streamlined and similar to each other. You don't work for the game, so to speak. You do everything alone now until endgame. I've complained about this in a lot of videos. You fast travel everywhere now. Yes, you follow a quest marker to your destination. Some games will even let you auto-path to your destination now. See my video about Bless Online. He says, I think that diminishes the sense of accomplishment when you actually do get something done. I 150,000% agree with that statement. Everything is far too streamlined and far too on rails, in my opinion. And Final Fantasy XIV is guilty of this too. Granted, Final Fantasy XIV, for me anyway, is the funnest MMO that's out there right now, but it's an entirely different breed almost than what MMOs used to be. They've evolved, I'd almost say devolved into what MMOs are now. Moving on. Another frequent Reddit contributor who goes by Fissionlight makes his case more brutally. In the end, this genre has been gutted of everything that made it great in the first place. We've gone from living, breathing worlds filled with danger and mystery to paint by numbers, on rails, and incredibly bland quest paths. There are no surprises in modern MMORPGs, no consequences. You simply lock your brain into a route and turn on Netflix. Yeah, I 100% agree. It's turned into a formula, and it's a formula that was designed and created by Blizzard. But the thing is this formula worked well for a while before it got tainted by Activision. Again, I'll go into my full opinion later. The clientele is undeniably right about one thing. MMOs have gotten tamer and more player-friendly, and as the years pile on, Blizzard introduced the Dungeon Finder tool, which automatically scanned the multiverse of servers and sorted your character into a dungeoneering party before teleporting the troop into the instance door. No longer would Alliance players need to take the ridiculously dangerous journey across Horde territory to bang down the doors of the Scarlet Monastery. It completely reinvented the physical contours of Azeroth, making those routines much easier to navigate while accidentally extinguishing the collective solidarity WoW demanded of its players in the wildest, most brutal days. Agree. The MMORPG subreddit does not represent a quartered-off niche of the MMO demographic either. The demand for vanilla WoW servers almost resulted in a mutiny. Interesting, leading up to the launch has already shown it's going to be a big deal. I would play WoW Classic if it didn't mean I had to give money to Activision. I will never give them a dime again. Fuck them right up their stupid asses, but that's just me. I'm not going to play a 16-year-old game for nostalgia purposes and give the money to a company that's then going to take that money and funnel it into mobile games, because we fucking know they're not doing anything else with WoW. There's some irony here. For as much grousing the subreddit can muster about the stale state of the MMO through a certain lens, it's never been healthier. The trappings of an MMO are the default keep players hooked formula. Again, there's the formula. Destiny, Warframe, Division 2, Anthem, all of those could be considered MMOs, but MMORPG Reddit reserves a certain memeified variance for the pretenders they refer to as hub-based games. I agree. Again, their reasoning is a little pedantic, but fairly sound. A game with only 8 players in the zone doesn't feel quite the same as a game with dozens of players at the same time. And this is where Final Fantasy XIV still works. Says Wands, another moderator who says he's lurked in the forum for at least 5 years. It's common for games to be branded as MMOs that don't quite fit the bill to cause a big backlash in the community. Of course, it's also easy to interpret a game like Destiny to be a natural evolution of the MMO form, growth and innovation, instead of some sort of hollow desecration. This is the tension of the MMORPG Reddit. Is the ferocious nostalgia truly a result of cynical, generic, less flavorful design in modern MMOs and MMO wannabes, or simply a symptom of getting older? I think it's both, but I think it's far more heavily weighed in shitty design, in mimic what made WoW successful. That's what companies do. But here's the thing that's funny. WoW's peak of its success, again, I'm not reading the article here, this is my opinion, was in mid-Wrath of the Lich King. That's when it hit its highest sub numbers, right? WoW's peak was before Activision joined, and was before any of the Group Finder, LFR, any of the dumbed down talents, any of that was ever introduced into the game. It was before that. Yet, all the companies copied what Activision created in Cataclysm, End of Wrath, and that was shitty WoW. And that's what games mimic. They mimicked a shitty version of a game. Anyway, let's move on. I'm 28 years old. Wow, this guy's a little baby. But I feel like if I was a teenager again, I would be able to feel the same magic I felt in World of Warcraft in any MMO or pseudo-MMO built with today's conveniences. I mean, everything from my youth feels more sublime looking back than it does as an adult. That's how it's supposed to work, right? I disagree with him here. Yeah, you'd have fun if it was your first MMO still. I know players, even players that are in my Discord and watch me on Twitch, they didn't start playing WoW at all until, like, God forbid, Warlords of Draenor, like when it's at its worst point, and they still loved it because they didn't have any context for the past. I think some of it's rose-tinted goggles, but I think it's very plain and clear that the MMOs of the 90s, early 2000s were far better than anything we have today, because they were appealing to a very specific audience that current MMOs no longer are. Current MMOs are trying to appeal to everybody. Anyway, let's keep going. This is a funny picture, by the way. If you see the article or if it's on your screen, you can look over it. Shut the fuck up, phone. Okay. It's not related to the game itself. They played World of Warcraft or EverQuest when they were a lot younger, when they could just play all day, says Stoyan. A third MMORPG mod. Some people have rose-colored glasses on when it comes to the leveling experience. You think it was fun back in the day when you earned 1 level a day, but nowadays you really want to play it for 3 months straight? And my answer to that is, fuck yeah, I do. I want to be so immersed in a game and so hardcore into it that I lose track of time. You know? Don't just log in to meet quotas. Don't log in to meet weeklies, dailies, monthlies, whatever the fuck have you. I want to get lost and immersed. That's just me, though. You know, and getting 1 level a day is fine if I felt immersed in the game the whole time. Masula's take made me think of one of my favorite posts on the Reddit. It's a comic. You can see it above there. The different ways we played MMOs in mid-2000s, the way we play them now. And it's a pretty accurate comic, but in a rarity for the subreddit, it lays the blame at the feet of the player. And I kind of agree that it shouldn't be placed on the player. Now, spoiled ass brats from current generation don't help, but overall, I think it's copying a bad formula for the most part. Anyway, the first image catches the bright-eyed adventure of a level 1 scrub taking their first steps in the overworld. Our UI is cluttered, confusing mess. We made a note of the next vista we'd like to explore. We've named our characters something tasteful and in the universe, as if to pay homage to whatever canon we're infiltrating. But in the second panel, 10 years later, we've reduced our hotbars to 2 macros. Our auction house add-on is already tabulating the average value of our loot. There's a vista on the horizon, but we've already alt-tabbed to the wiki and drawn up a more efficient path. The culture of streamlining has affected everyone, even the players who pine for the unwashed golden era. No matter how much we grumble, we'll still check what's data mined from the public test realm as soon as it hits the internet. I agree, I'm even a fucking shame that I do that. It's inevitable that with systems that ask you to spend vast swaths of time making numbers go up, players will always gravitate towards efficiency. But that efficiency ends up eroding some of that earthly texture longtime MMO players long for right out from under them. I agree. Getting the highest numbers I never looked at in Assurance Call, in Dark Age of Camelot, in even Classic WoW, Final Fantasy XI. No, I just wanted to be immersed in the game and get good shit and feel powerful. That's it. I didn't min-max my fucking nuts off. Wands tells me he's a believer in a potential MMORPG renaissance. There is at least one MMO in production called Pantheon Rise of the Fallen, which is trying to evoke the spirit of what an MMORPG believes it has gone missing. I've seen that and I'm keeping my eye on it, as I am on Ashes of Creation. We'll see how that turns out. We've always been disappointed up to this point. We focus on the poignant elements of design to aim to provide our players with environments conducive to building reputations, friendships, and alliances, as well as rivalries and notoriety. Reads the statement of purpose on Pantheon's website. Perhaps its success or failure will be a sign, whether the industry has changed or we have. And again, I think it's both, but I think it's weighed towards the industry. Just look at the gaming industry, for fuck's sake. It's a joke. Toxic shithole. Anyway, last part. I know this has been long, guys, but this is the last part of the article. I think we just need developers to be more willing to break from the mold, but it will be an uphill battle. MMO players now are almost obsessed with min-maxing and getting to the endgame as quickly as possible, so the feeling, discovery, and wonder are gone. See my video about Endgame Must Die, another video I made 6 months ago. EverQuest even had that marketing line. It went something like, "You're in our world now." And you logged into this crazy big world and you just went out there and did your thing with other people. I can't say games feel that way anymore. And I agree, because that's how Assurance Call felt. That's how Dark Age of Camelot felt. That's how Final Fantasy XI felt. That's how some parts of Final Fantasy XIV felt, but again, 14 is still pretty streamlined. And that's how classic World of Warcraft and Burning Crusade felt. And a lot of Wrath of the Lich King. Anyway, let's go on. The era of the MMO is over, but their influence is still everywhere. It's a convoluted future for a genre that's only getting more confused and hard to define. Agree. At the very least, the denizens of the MMORPG Reddit know the feeling they want. They were there. They saw it with their own eyes, as I did, and experienced with my own eyes. I'm an old-ass man. Until they can get it back, they'll be commiserating as they fashion a worthy tomb. So, guys, what did you think of this article? I really, really identified with it, and if you go through my other videos, I have a bunch of series like Endgame Must Die, How WoW's success derailed the MMORPG genre, which was a whole series. I've had quite a few videos on my channel. There quite a few of them are way in the past. I mean, before I was divorced, before a lot of stuff. But if you're interested, please go check it out. However, this really rung true to me in a lot of ways. I don't get me wrong, I love Final Fantasy 14. The thing that brings me back to 14 and that even gives me some immersion in the game is the story. The story is absolutely exceptional. The graphics and the animations are fun. I enjoy the combat, but it is on rails. There is still dailies, there's still weeklies, there's still all kinds of stuff like that that I don't like. And I'm going to keep playing it until something better comes along that makes me feel that makes me enjoy it more. I'm not chasing the dragon. I know that I'm never going to get that exact feeling back that I had the first time I ever stepped in an MMORPG back in 1999. I know that's not going to happen. I've accepted that. And if you still are holding out hope, you should fucking not. You should, just roll with the punches. But maybe I really hope this MMO renaissance is what ends up happening, and it just doesn't just fade out into a series of faceless destinies and games like that. But anyway, guys, this has been my article. Again, not my article, but me reading this article that I found. I do want to say that a lot of why the MMORPG genre is the way it is because of WoW's success. I'm not directly blaming Blizzard. I think they made some decisions that were really, really bad for the game, obviously, for their own game. And because they were the top dog at the time, other companies reflected it because they wanted to generate the same success, and they were all just reflecting bad choices, which is why MMOs are where they are today. Anyway, guys, that's my opinion. What's yours? Leave it in the comment section down below. Follow me on Twitch. I'm also notifying people that here in the future, in the next month or two, I may permanently move my stream over to Mixer. And no, it has nothing to do with Ninja. It has to do with how fucking cucked Twitch is and how biased they are on their own rules. So I'm waiting to see what Mixer's doing because they have a lot of things coming down the pipeline over the next couple months for people coming over from Twitch. But anyway, guys, as of now, I'm on Twitch. Follow me there if you like my content, you want to come chit-chat with me. Follow me and sub here on YouTube if you like my content. Hit the little alert bell if you want to be notified when more of my shit goes up. If you don't like it, that's fine. Just go fuck yourself. I don't give a fuck. Okay, guys. Thanks so much for the support. It's been really booming lately, and I really appreciate it. And as always, my friends, keep it real.